Another area that is important to keep clean and tidy is the kitchen. Most of our clients do have a kitchen in their facility. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to dust. So I'm going to start off by dusting these light fixtures that you see right in front of me. And we're just going to do one of these. So we left these dusty on purpose so we could show the before and after. Okay, so that's the reason we want to dust first is obviously the dust falls, and then we're going to wipe it up off the counter when we're done. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to go over to the refrigerator, and this is all once a week. Most of these tasks are once a week as far as dusting, and you're just going to get the top of the fridge. And sometimes you have these odd items. We're going to move it around and just kind of dust underneath it. I'm going to go to the second fridge just to show you that we are thorough. And another area that we clean in the kitchen when we're at a client's facility is the sink, faucet, and counter area. So I'm going to pre-spray the faucet and the sink, let our hospital-grade disinfectant sit for a couple of minutes before wiping with a microfiber cloth. Okay, so we're going to pretend we're going to do a time lapse here, and it's been 2 minutes. So I'm going to wipe down and shine the chrome. I'm going to wipe the backsplash. We're going to actually pick up items like this and wipe underneath, as well as this. And then last but not least, we're going to take yellow-green sponge. And if there were coffee or any other stains in here, I'm going to go ahead and remove those. As you can see, it's already pretty clean. We're going to make sure we're getting in the cracks like that. And then we will wipe dry with our cloth. And voila, you have a clean faucet and sink. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to head off to the counters. And instead of spraying the counter directly, we're going to spray our microfiber cloth. Just get it a little bit damp. That's all it needs to be. And even things like this, we're going to wipe around there. We're going to lift this up. Now, as far as all these items on this counter, every time we're here, we're not going to pull them out. This is maybe once a week, just to make sure there's any crumbs here. So this facility is actually kept up very nice. So I know I don't need to continue to do that. Another thing, tops of things like this, they get dusty. So just wipe it and wipe inside there like that. And I'm going to move over to the coffee maker, same thing. And especially around where there's sugar packets and things, you definitely want to make sure that these areas are wiped well. I'm not so worried about wiping crumbs onto the floor because we're going to sweep and mop. And last but not least, okay, so that's it. That's a typical counter kitchen sink area. And as you see, it looks perfecto. Okay, another area that we always clean in the kitchen is the microwave. We start at the top, we do the outside, and we do the inside. And this is every time we're at a client's facility. So again, we're going to take our microfiber cloth. It has some disinfectant on it. I'm going to go this way just so you can see. We're going to wipe the top off. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the inside. Can you see that? And we're going to wipe off this, the inside of the door. And so if this microwave tray happened to be very dirty, we would take it over to a sink. We would wipe it off with the green and yellow sponge. We would rinse it off. And then we would use a paper towel to dry the tray, and then we would replace the tray. And before we replace it, we would wipe underneath there. Okay, now moving on quickly. Now we're going to hit the outside with our glass cleaner. And this is a glass cleaner rag that we use. They're blue, and they're called Huck rags. And that is beautiful. And last but not least, we are going to take our microfiber rag again and make sure we're getting underneath the edges. And that way you have a beautifully clean microwave inside and out. Okay, another area that we clean are the tables. So what we do, we spray, and we're going to let that sit for 1 to 2 minutes before coming back to wipe. And as you can see, there's a lot of tables here. This is just 3 out of 6 of them. So I would go and spray and let it sit, and then come back with your microfiber rag and make sure you wipe it completely dry. And one of the things that you'll be trained on is when this cloth gets wet, you're going to want to switch cloths because it no longer is effective like it should be. Another appliance that we usually clean in the kitchen is the refrigerator. So again, we're going to use the microfiber cloth. I put some disinfectant on my cloth because we're going to hit around the door handles first. And then you would wipe just like this the rest of the surface. And normally we use glass cleaner, but there might be accounts where you have to use stainless steel. So just check with your manager. She'll let you know what product to use. Another area that we clean in the kitchen is the outside of appliances. Usually on our proposal, it's just a once a week duty. So we're going to spray this down. We're just going to use our glass cleaner. It usually works perfectly fine. And we're going to use our microfiber cloth. Again, if this cloth is too wet, this is not going to work. It's like butter. Okay, nice. Another area that we clean in the kitchen are the trash cans. So once a week, you're going to want to wipe the outside of the can, the tops, just like that, and then the front. So I'm going to spray. I'm going to get down. I'm going to wipe it good. I see some streak marks on here, so it definitely needs to be done. Again, this is only like once a week. Doesn't need to be done every day. And then if a trash can is near a wall, like this trash can over here, I see a couple little splotches right here. Just going to spray and wipe. And again, the top of the can. Okay. Many of our clients have paper towels in the kitchen. This client happens to have all 3 that you'll ever see. So you may have to change this, which you will have a key dispenser for. This one is full, so it's good. Some people just have a tray like this, or maybe sitting on the counter of the C-fold or multi-fold. And then you have your regular paper towels like you have at your home, which as this gets low, we would be required to replace it. And then soap dispenser. This is full, but that's something else that you would need to fill in the kitchen as it goes empty. So that's it. Okay, the last thing you want to do in a kitchen is the floor. You're going to start with dust mopping, or sometimes you could just use a broom. We're going to use a dust mop today. And you're going to get, if you have a counter like this with the lip, you want to make sure you're getting underneath the counter, because that's where crumbs like to hide. They like to party under there. So we need to make sure that we are getting them. Same with like the refrigerator, kind of get underneath there a little bit. And I'm going to kind of make a little pile here. And then we're going to take our dustpan and broom. We're going to sweep this up. And then this will go into your trash can. One other option that we do have if the camera person would like to follow me. Let's say you were dust mopping in this direction. You could actually put the crumbs onto the carpet and then you just vacuum it up. So either way is acceptable for dirt doctors. And there we go. Okay, your last step in doing a kitchen, this should be the last thing you do before you walk out, is wet mop the floor. You want to make sure that you wring your mop head out pretty thoroughly. You want it to be damp. You don't want it to be soaking wet. Also, you want to check this once in a while to make sure it's tight. Just like that. I'm going to start on this end and work my way over. So if this was here, I would move it. Now the floor's already been swept or dust mopped at this point, so you shouldn't have many crumbs on the floor. So you want to use a back and forth motion. You want your legs to help and not just be all your arms. Okay, I'm going to re-dip my mop, wring it out again, and continue on. And you want to do that until you have the complete kitchen mopped. And that'll be it for the kitchen.